Hello. So last time I did a side entrance, I got a lot of great feedback, and by great feedback, I mean one person said strangely, annoyingly interesting, and I'll take it. Shout out to that guy. Big changes this week. One of them being I've shifted house, which is who cares. The other one is I cut all my hair off. Look, here's my new hair length. Yeah, so that's cool. And actually, it was today. It was this morning. Got it cut. I've been growing it long for 6 years. It was a big process, a big identity shift. Getting it cut off doesn't sound like a lot. Hey, it's just hair, but I felt like it was part of who I am. And now I've chopped it, and it feels actually amazing. So feeling good, feeling grateful that I processed it beforehand, and I'm feeling awesome about creating new memories with short hair and also new pieces of content. Yes. Okay, so this week I'm talking about creating a plan for content, particularly more specifically around podcasting, creating a content plan for podcasting. All right, okay, we got there in the end. We got it out through the philosophical stuff, through the word jumbles, and now we're out the other side of it, and there's probably some more word jumbles coming at us. But that's fine. So just a few top tips from me around creating a really good piece of content planning so that your product has some longevity. There's a future to your product because you were smart about planning in the first place. So my biggest thing here is do a brainstorm, a good old-fashioned brainstorm. I'm talking a pen, a Vivid, whatever it might be, a giant piece of paper, because you'll be surprised how much you can fill it up. This is really early stages stuff, but this is also something that you can do as your product goes on. Maybe you want to revisit the brainstorm and see where you're at. You want to have the people who are the most important in the project. You want to have the pen and you want to have the paper. And time. You don't want to be in a rush, okay? Those are the only things you really need because your brains will come up with all the great ideas from that point onwards. What you're going to come up with is you're going to have a whole lot of topics that you're not even going to realize you even knew about because one thing leads to another, the old classic brainstorm. You might come up with a title for the actual podcast itself. Maybe you didn't have one. Maybe you thought you were sure, and then you do a brainstorm and you go, hang on a sec. Actually, this is way better. You've got a vision. Vision's important. What does it look like? What's it going to look like in 2 years? Is it a short series? Is it a long series? What is it? You might even be looking at finer details. So right down into the nitty gritty. Are we going to use an intro? Are we doing music? Are we doing, original intros every time we do an episode? All that kind of stuff. What frequency are we going to release? Very important. Think about this. Do not say I can do 2 episodes a week and then you go, oh shit, this is hard when I'm doing this many a week and I'm stressed. Don't do that to yourself unless it's realistic. How are we going to get listeners? Think about it. Plan your social media. Here's me creating social media from a plan, believe it or not. So the key thing that's going to come out of that is topics. Now, if you've got enough topics, you've got something that you can work towards. The next thing is, are they good topics? Are they going to land with the audience the way that you want them to? Have you got the right people around you to create good content around those topics? Think about the who. Who's going to be on the episode? Is it just you? Is it you and someone else? Is it you and another expert that you've ordered in? Who is it? How are they going to make your listeners feel? Do whatever prep you need to do, okay? Because preparation's important, and for each individual, it's different. Some people wing the whole thing. Some people do bullet points. Some people take notes. Some people script the entire episode. Who cares how you do it as long as it works? As long as you relay the message that you want to relay to the people who are listening about what you're talking about and you're proud of what you've come up with, then who cares what sort of prep you did? But those are kind of the 3 ways that you can go about it. I tend to wing it, for example, right now. I've got a few notes. That's a lie. I've got a few notes, but I am semi-winging it. And I think, honestly, that's sometimes when the most thought-provoking and creative content comes out of me. Top tip here is do not release a single episode until you've got 10 recorded already. Because you haven't got 10 or maybe 11 or 12, or more the merrier. When you go on holiday and you're going, oh man, I don't have any content for this week. Crap, I've got to record a podcast from wherever I am. By the way, where am I? Put in the comments you win stuff, or hit me up in the DMs. So you don't want to be stressing out when you're away. You don't want to go on holiday. You want to have Christmas break and not be releasing content. Keep it rolling. Remember, it's really important. That's why I'm here every Monday. That's why you got to look at me every Monday, because it's important that we release stuff consistently. All right. So have lots of content before you start releasing any to the world. Revisit regularly. So what direction are you going? Is it the direction that you wanted to go in the first place? How did the first brainstorm look? And have you stayed in line with that? Are you getting listeners? Are you not? Have conversations. Have difficult conversations. Is it worth our time? Is it not? Maybe it's an independent thing. Maybe you're doing it for your business. With business, it's kind of like, hey, we're not making any money from this. It's like, well, actually, no, you won't. You're going to build trust in others. You're going to build a reputation without even realizing it. Sure, maybe your listeners aren't really high, but you only need one who then comes and does business with you to make the whole project worth it, yeah? So have a look at the product from a bird's eye view rather than being buried in all the time. Man, create. We've got to do all this stuff. Have a look at it from a bird's eye view. Work on it rather than in it. It's a nice expression that I use for business. I try and work on my business rather than working in it when I can. And that's it. There's no more tips from me today in relation to content creation. So be good out there. Have a fantastic week. You'll see me next Monday. If you need any help or any advice on where to get a haircut, I've got a lady. She was great. She was fantastic. Be good. Bye.